The history of Arbor has been one filled with great accomplishment and great sorrow. There is almost no other world to feel the pain and suffering as they have. Originally, Arbor was home to two dominant humanoid species. The Condayin's humanoids with purple skin and yellow eyes, in appearance distantly related to the Ulna, and the taller blue-skinned black-eyed Mantus. In the third month of the Arbor calendar year, during a harvest moon, chief astronomers from the two separate tribes began tracking a group of objects that had entered the periphery of the Arbor system. Within weeks, these objects had been picked up by average workers and farmers of the tribes. The elders of the council revealed that they were almost certainly artificial in nature and on a direct course with Arbor. When the ships finally arrived in orbit in the fourth month, the outcome was apocalyptic. A hastily assembled orbital defense network was swept aside and powerful weaponry annihilated dozens of cities in the opening few hours. Whether this strike was meant to force some sort of unconditional surrender was never determined, but a clear genocidal campaign from the invaders followed. Over the next 10 years, the planet fought a desperate war across the world. In ruined cities and ash-choked landscapes, Condayin military forces engaged a horrific enemy whose advanced technology and suits with armor plating and glowing red eyes made defeat seem inevitable. Over a third of the planet was occupied, and those who managed to escape brought with them reports of horrifying atrocities and death camps, eliminating the less advanced Mantus who could put up a less technological resistance. While these invaders remained confident in their ability to conquer the planet, it was not known that the planet of Arbor was located on a void rift, and all the suffering and pain inflicted on not just the planet, but the galaxy at large during the Great Sector Wars coagulated in the southern expanse around Arbor. Eventually, this was released in a tide of empathic Netheric energy. The wall of Netheric energy unleashed, mutated the DNA of the surviving Condayin people, giving them the power to sense others' emotions around them with their society effectively. This new magic-like ability gave the Condayins the edge in the fight to unlock new combative abilities as well as new technology. Eventually, the invaders were pushed back to their landing sites. The newfound magical might and bitter spite of the Condayins won out over the invaders, and they retreated back to their ships and through a strange gateway giving off purple light that many of the foot soldiers had come through. The planet was in ruins. The global economy had been erased. Famine was rampant, and the highest governing body had been almost wiped out, with only one of the elder chiefs surviving, alongside tens of millions of Condayins dead and the extermination of the Mantus. With the survival of their race in question, the measures taken were severe: strict rationing, a mandatory one-child policy, and widespread martial law. Every available resource was put toward reconstruction. The price was immense, and even Chief Kutok was horrified by the actions taken to preserve civilization. Across the decades, however, the situation began to improve. Crop yields increased, new technology was discovered, cities were rebuilt, and the harshest measures imposed on the population were repealed. Eventually, manned space flights resumed, and the dissection of derelict starships still in orbit revealed astonishing new technologies and fields of study, as well as the major discovery of the Gateway Network and the planets it connected. Every effort was made to prepare the planet for a second attack, but it never came. Instead, through the Gateway Network, the Condayins learned of the greater galactic community, and that the invasion of their planet was only a small event in the saga of the Great Sector Wars, and the name of the nation who had attacked them. While not exactly welcomed into the galactic community with open arms, the discovery of their distant relatives, the Ulna Collective and Union of Nemarium, created a form of brotherhood between the three races of elves in the galaxy. Today, the Condayin League is a very exclusive society, with very few individuals being allowed into the nation besides the other elven nations such as the Merchants of Ulna and the Knights of Nemarium. One of the rare things that separates the League from other nations is their attunement with nature, as many of their cities and structures are syncretic with nature around them. Even more so than the Ulna Collective, and much of their technology utilizes Netheric energy as a form of power similar to the Archland Confederacy. While their society is very insular, any Condayans who do travel outside of the nations usually serve as diplomats due to their empathic abilities, finding a place in most accepting nations.